Hi, beautiful sisters. Welcome, welcome. Just my song to bring me into the space tonight. I am it's hauntingly beautiful, and what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's got a power. So, yeah, I am is what came to be with us tonight. So welcome. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional caretakers and custodians of the land that I am on here in Sydney, the Guringai, the wider Eora Nation, and acknowledging the caretakers of the land in whatever place you are on this beautiful planet of ours, and give thanks for the care that has been taken so we can sit here tonight, and may we learn from the love, gentleness, caring, and that sense of belonging to the earth rather than the earth belonging to us. Thank you for letting us be here. Okay, so our beautiful Nicole, I'm so excited. Come on, technology, work for me tonight. Dr. Nicole should be joining us tonight, and I'm so excited, about this conversation. It's gonna be a really interesting one. This woman has a lot to share with us, so hello.
Is it working? Oh, come on, technology.
Well, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, I can see you. Now, what's happening here? Wow, I'm in the void.
How weird is that?
Now, what to do?
How can we have... Okay. So we're gonna give Nicole another go. That was weird. I haven't had that happen before. That's a new experience. It either works or doesn't work. Oh, yay!
Yes! Hello!
Hello!
It worked! Oh, hello! Oh. Hi, beautiful!
Hello.
Wow. Okay, I'm Facebook Live virgin here, so bear with me.
It's all right. I think
Exciting stuff.
most people that end up joining me are, so it's totally fine. And whether you are or you aren't, technology is going to do what it's going to do, and we just kind of roll with it.
That's fine. Thanks for breaking me in.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
It is so good to see you. It's been far too long, and yeah, it's just wonderful. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm just so thrilled to just be sharing space tonight with you and all the beautiful sisters that you're involved with.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I was just before we got on the call, I was kind of just sitting and thinking about, we met a long time ago in it seems like a different life. And I was just yeah, that's right, working in disability forever ago. But then I was thinking as well about your amazing books. So, the Dancing with Dragons, which I was just thinking about all our books are packed because we're moving. I was just about to go and get it, and I was like, oh, packed. But I was like, I need to read that again soon. I just loved that book so much. I think I read it in like 5 minutes because I was just like, yeah. But also the Women of the Wise Earth, that beautiful book, which again is packed. But that book launch is actually where I first met my beautiful beloved Peter. It was kind of like,
no, really?
Yeah. It's, even though we worked at the same place, and that's kind of where the relationship ended up, like we got to know each other more. But it was actually, and my friend Yvonne is actually watching it. She was there and she said, oh, that's Peter. He's a Czech guy. He's a bit weird. Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was a like that's just a really special moment for me in my life, because that's the moment I kind of really first saw the man that I now spend my life with, which, the father of my precious baby. And yeah, so it was really special. I'm saying she remembers. Yeah. So,
yes, he still is indeed.
Beautifully weird. Yeah, so just...
isn't it remarkable how the universe just dances like that, and pathways cross, and life, it just unfolds in the most unpredictable, amazing ways like that. And who would have thought back then that we'd be sitting here having this conversation in this form about whatever we're going to talk about tonight? It's wonderful.
It is. It's so special. Yeah, it is that dance, just dancing in and out. So yeah, really special. So I'm so grateful to have you here, and I'm so excited to hear. So yeah, like, do you want to start by telling us a bit about you and what you do as now Dr. Nicole Gruel?
Sure. So, well, as a life coach, I work with people who have had profound transformative experiences. So I like to call them notes, non-ordinary transcendent experiences. So you might hear me say notes a bit tonight.
Yeah.
And, they're the types of experiences where it's not part of our regular everyday happening. And it occurs, or a series of its occur, and they profoundly shift, who we were beforehand to who we are afterhand. And they can be beautiful, they can be really disturbing, they can be just like, whoa, but they just really shift us. And so naturally, when life before and after radically changes, and we're reassessing everything, like our relationships, our work that we do, our family bonds, the food that we eat, the people that we hang out with, this can cause a lot of disturbance in life. And so now I'm working with people who are making those transitions themselves and wanting to integrate these profound experiences, trying to understand the experience and what happened, and pull out gorgeous gifts.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit. Oh, you've stopped. Uh-oh. Totally paused.
Are we back?
Are you starting to move again?
Okay. Back now? I'll try not to move too fast.
You're coming back. You're coming back.
How is it?
Yeah. Okay. No. Cutting out. Oh, we were going so well. uh, okay, what we might just I might just take you off, Nicole, and then add you back in. What a disappointment. Just for now, just for now. She's gonna be back. She's gonna be back. Yeah, because getting to talk about those yeah, the transformative experiences, and I really, yeah, resonating with that, the before and after, yeah, of an experience that's happened in our lives. Now, I can see you there, Nicole, but there's no camera. Your video has just, there it is. So let's bring her back and yeah, talk more about these transformative experiences. Yeah, come on, technology, be my friend. Be my friend. Oh, so funny. I ran a tech group at work today. Nobody turned up. Come on, technology. Okay, let's... Oh no, she disappeared again. That's really weird. Camera was there. Camera's gone. Okay, we'll wait because it did come back just before. So I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, so really, really was looking forward to this special conversation with Nicole, but I'm sure that we will get her back on and be able to dive into her work. Yeah, the book that Nicole's written, Dancing with Dragons, is really about her own experience through that, and I really recommend reading it. It's so easy to read, and just sucked me in. I just loved it. So yeah, if we can get to have Nicole on to share a bit about that, that book's a good way to dive in even deeper and learn more. Okay, so interestingly, again, we've got a blank screen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
This is so, I'm so sorry. This is really, well, this is, isn't this a non-ordinary experience? This is what happens when a lot of electricity comes together. We're getting screwy on technology. Dear me.
It is. It is a non-ordinary experience because I have never had it happen where the screen is black, but I can hear perfectly. It's really weird.
Yeah, haha, indeed. I'm laughing too. Okay, I signed out. I'm so sorry, folks that are watching. Sorry about this.
It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, these things happen. Last week, I did one of these conversations with like I'm starting to do, meeting with mothers for bereaved mothers, and I did this. Oh! I love that face. Oh,
The weirdest thing happened. I was signing back in and then I could hear myself out of the phone. It was like, wow, now we're really getting trippy.
Well, it seems to
Oh,
be
you're hearing me?
when
We have a delay too. This is hilarious.
Oh, really? When I do these calls, usually whatever we're talking about seems to really just come in and up and yeah, is really, really present. So yeah, this is pretty not ordinary. So we'll just roll with it.
Wow. So maybe tonight we need to talk about presence and clear lines of communication and lack no cut out the disturbances, just channel clarity and it will be.
Oh gosh. Well, anyway, tell us back to you, back to all, yeah, about what you do, what you're about. Share.
Sure, sure. So the coaching of people who've had non-ordinary transcendent experiences, notes, who want to integrate those and make the most of those gifts and do their stuff in the world. You know, we get transformed, and often that comes with some kind of a feeling of this is what I need to do with my life path. And so it can be helpful to have someone at that point to just, you know, help coach and mentor and navigate and cheerlead with. So that's what I do now. And that came about because of my own experiences. And so here we are. And the studies that were completed are about that as well. It was about the non-ordinary and people who've had these experiences and understanding it from the level of personality. So again, who we are beforehand, how we change, and how we can use the most of who we are to do even more of what we're here to do in the world. Yeah. And so along with that has come some other developments as well. So I wanted to get a few hats for tonight, but this hair doesn't fit many hats these days. So that was one hat, which is the coaching hat. And yeah, and there's some other partnerships. So one exciting partnership, and this will be the announcement tonight because it hasn't been announced in the public yet, is with the organization called IANS, the International Association for Near-Death Studies. Started about 40 years ago, and it's like education and support groups for people who've gone through near-death experiences and other really profound transformations. And very strong in the US, not so much going on over here, little touches in other parts of the world. Long story short, I'm helping them to launch online groups so that we can have, again, these groups that come together where experiences can share what they've been through, meet other folks who have been through something similar, and get resources. So that's happening on the Blue Moon this month. We're launching our first pilot group, and I get to facilitate that, which is really exciting because I just love meeting folks like this and just having these conversations. And yeah, so we'll have our first group of 20 and off we go. And then IANS will kind of mushroom that out, and hopefully soon we'll have different branch groups like these groups for, you know, ayahuasca experiences, or professional groups like nurses who go through certain experiences either themselves or with the people that they serve and want to talk about it there. So we don't quite know where it's going. It's going to have a bit of an organic growth to it. But yeah, that's going to start at the end of this month. So that is very exciting too. If anyone is interested, hit me up and we'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So what would be some of the like the near death experiences, and you said the nurse, like what other sort of things would yeah fit within that?
Sure. So, so there's a category of with the near-death experiences, also like death-like experiences or death-related. So people who don't physically die in any way, but might have had some kind of a sense of you know, either they left their body or a part of them has now gone and has ended, and they transitioned somewhere and they came back. So again, they have the typical experiences that someone who had the clinical near-death experience might have. They report the same kinds of things. Or, for example, the nurses, especially bereavement nurses, they're with people all the time who are transitioning. And so it's known that at the time of transition, there can be experiences that happen. There are shared bed experiences, for example, where when you're with a loved one and those two people are very close, there can be a shared, maybe a vision of where they're going next, or people sometimes see, you know, light come off the body, or they can have profound transformative experiences themselves through maybe dream or message. Any number of things can happen. So that's one huge category, is the near death and the death like or death related experiences. And there's all of these other categories as well, where, you know, mystical experiences, religious experiences, psychedelic induced experiences. Yeah, whole heap.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, it gets pretty out there.
Yeah, and what amazing, you know, what amazing sort of conversations will come that you'll be able to be facilitating. And I would also imagine for some people, like you said earlier, like these experiences can be um, like ecstatic, amazing, beautiful, you know, and also I would imagine sometimes really confusing and scary. And so to have the space to talk about that, for it to be somewhat normalized, accepted, and to I guess have a framework or a container or something, a map or something for it.
Yep. Exactly. So we provide a space for the experience to be present, and there's no dogma, there's no you know, predetermined or set path of how someone's experience should be. It's simply a welcoming space for the experiencer to share what they went through, and be validated. You know, even in having an open ear, that in itself is validating for many people. And when you hear others who have had something similar occur, there's, as you know, there's a magic in groups that can happen. And even just listening, you know, people themselves can have the aha. Yeah, okay, that's what happened for me, or that's okay that I went through that, and I'm not crazy after all. There's someone else out there that understands. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, such a massive, I would imagine, like yeah, just such a massive thing to hold and to walk with, and then to have a sense of understanding and belonging would just be, yeah, a relief. But also, you know, for other people like who are quite comfortable and loving it, just being able to talk about it more with people who get it, and kind of go there
Yep.
with them. Mm.
Yeah, you know, and for a lot of people who might have had nothing to do with any of these experiences before, because they can happen spontaneously and they can happen to anyone. You know, someone might have a regular working week and then on a Friday night experience something profound, something shifts, and then Monday they have to go back to the ordinary world again and life, and yet everything is different. And, you know, what do you do with that, right? And a lot of people just carry that with themselves. You know, maybe I'm a bit mad, I don't know what that was about, better not talk about it, people won't understand. Or, you know, when there's community and people who are doing something similar or have gone through something similar, then, you know, there's an opening. There's an opening just to say, you know, this happened, and it was a little different. It was a little strange, you know, it was awesome. Yeah. And absolutely, these experiences can arise out of you know, the most expansive, opening, beautiful types of things, but also out of great stress. And, you know, like these experiences happen to soldiers on the battlefield, for example. They're around life and death at its edge. You know, there are war vets that come back and have had near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, profound dreams. And again, spaces are needed to integrate these things. So it's not just the, you know, the woos and the unicorns that kind of go through this. It can be anybody who has these experiences. And I think that's why it interests me so much. You know, that's why I find this amazing. Yeah, they don't discriminate.
Yeah, yeah. I guess there's sort of the, like you said, you know, ayahuasca or those sort of experiences where people, I guess, are putting themselves into a position and calling that sort of, yeah, that experience to happen, that transformative and yeah, altered state to actually happen. But then to be someone who's just going about their day and something to happen, then, you know, not really know where to put that and who you are on the other side as well. And what, yeah, that's so interesting. And yeah, that, like, yeah, I guess I haven't thought about it a whole lot. Like, I guess talked about you know, spiritual emergence and spiritual emergency and those sorts of things. But yeah, I guess thinking about um yeah, people that are in really different environments and having those things happen, and what do you do with that?
What do you do with that? That's right. And we right now, for better or worse, are in a time where we live in a spiritual candy shop. You know, you can go out there and pretty much have any experience you want, right? We have access to so many tools and technologies that might have been kept away beforehand, which might have been a good thing, you know, but they're here now. And so people are having these experiences. And on top of that, we have more life resuscitating technologies as well. So you add all of those together, and we have a bunch of people walking around who've gone through something profound and don't quite know where to park it or put it or transmute it into the next part of life. And even those who seek, you know, the hardcore who might go into the Peruvian jungle and have their ayahuasca experience and meet Mother Aya and be totally transformed. Well, guess what happens when you come back home again? You know, same place, same people, same life. And unless, you know, unless there's support around that, unless there's community structures, your own perception, unless there's things to help you along the way to integrate, it can be really challenging.
Mm. Yeah, and I guess what I had been thinking of the challenging part is, you know, what the hell just happened? Who am I now, and all of that sort of stuff. But also, when, I guess, with those sorts of experiences that you've called in and you've gone and done this work, and I guess you've dived really deep and opened something up, but then you kind of get back to everyday life, and it's quite easy to even, like, you kind of come back going, yeah, I'm going to do this, and this is who I am now, and blah blah blah. And then you kind of come back, and it's easy to kind of slip back and, yeah, go back to the old patterns and the old way. And there's one little part of you that's kind of just like, oh, I remember that. But it's easy to slip back here. So, yeah, even that part of it is important.
And you know, and I think there's a beauty in the old meeting the new. You know, for me, working with people, integration is bringing those two together and not to completely throw it away. You know, there's some new age tracks that talk about, you know, dissolving the ego and completely ridding oneself of the ego. And, you know, fine, if that's your path and that's what works for you, go for it. Personally, how I feel about that is that the ego is actually really important. You know, I see it as a compass of our consciousness. This is how Jung spoke about it. And it's there. It's a mechanism that is inbuilt in us to help us navigate in the world, you know. So without it, of course it's like the, you know, it might be some profound transcendent experience, but we're here on planet Earth still, and we have people that we work with and walk the world with, you know. And how do you come back from an experience like that and integrate it in a sound way where your relationships don't have to break up, but where they can, you know, move to another move to another stage? It's common for people to have these experiences to, you know, end in divorce and their relationships, because it can be too hard when one person has had something that they can, you know, they can barely verbalize, and you know, they maybe they still love that person, maybe they can't live with that person. You know, it brings up so much, so much. So we're not just talking about someone finding it and integrating it within themselves. It's like, what about all the people around you as well too? You know, how do you delicately navigate that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think about, like, through some of my studies and seeing that, like, transforming people, and yeah, seeing relationships because of everything that's happened. Yeah, those relationships are no longer. And even I think for me, you know, going through after Kai's death, you know, for me, that was, you know, I was right at the edge. Like, yeah, like the world literally like looked different. Like my vision had changed, so it looked completely different, and the way that I related to people and the way I saw, well, I, you know, saw slash see the world had completely changed. And you know, there was parts that were, you know, or moments or times when it was like, all of this has to go. You know, I can't have any of it. You know, these relationships, these things, this, yeah, I think, you know, ready to pack up and go somewhere. Yeah. And yeah, so being able to kind of come, yeah, find myself again. And yeah, it is like you were saying, it's kind of a bringing in of, oh, and yeah, I'm sorry. I just like the time of, like, I guess it's a deconstruction and then the reconstruction. So, and what pieces of the old remain, what am I going to, like, consciously keep here, and what needs to keep gone, and what else, what new do I bring in?
I love that. You know, the image that comes to me as you're talking there is of the puzzle, and like it's this elaborate 10,000 piece puzzle, and someone just comes along and goes, you know, kapow, and blows this big hole in it, and you're left with pieces, and some are missing, and some are broken, and some are misshaped. And how do you then put it all back together, you know? And some are still the same, right? And we carry on with life like that. Their experience,
Mm.
reshape. Yeah.
The delays. I love it. Yes, yeah. It's there's just so many yeah, different experiences that I guess I'm now seeing that you're talking about, and also the way that we come out the other side. Yeah, I guess it even the point where it could be, you know, I guess I had a point where it was yeah, I literally had to make a choice of whether I stay or go. You know, am I stepping back into life, or am I totally stepping out? Like that's where it got to. And I would imagine as well for some people, like especially with some of the near death experiences, like depending on what they've experienced and seen, how do you, yeah, I guess be here, and some of the choices that might be, oh, what's the word, like present, or you may find, or oh, what am I trying to say? The choices that you might find lying in front of you that you never thought were there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're touching on something really, really accurate with many experiences. It's like the Harry Potter thing, right? There can be two worlds, is how some people can experience it, and so it's like having a foot in both realities.
Yeah.
Are we still connected?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. My screen's doing funny things, but if you, I'll keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like having, a foot in two worlds, and for some, depending on what the experience is, there's a preference to stay in one world over, the regular, ordinary world that we have, right? Maybe relationships are too hard. Maybe people just don't get it. Maybe I don't have a community of friends or a tribe that I can just be myself with. But that experience that I had, I felt understood there. I felt loved there. I felt connected there. I felt freedom there. And particularly with near-death experiences, it can be, for some people, they go to a place they call heaven, or home. And, I've spoken with people who are back here in their physical form, in their regular life, and it's hell. It's really hard. And some people do even want to end their life to go back. It's an absolute reality. Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, there are times when this life, this, being in the physical body, being here, and the day-to-day things that we face, and the decisions we have to make, and all of those things, it can be painful and be really hard. And when you've seen something so far from that, and yeah, known that's there, like I guess for lots of us, we walk kind of, yeah, maybe some with the hope it's there, some thinking it's not there, but to have the experience and to have been there, and then to be back here, it could be, yeah, really hard.
Yeah, yeah. Life can be really hard, this incarnation, this physical form on this physical planet can be really freaking hard sometimes. We have a full gamut of emotions. We have a full gamut of experiences. Sometimes life is not fair. Sometimes, awful shit just happens, and we're still here. And so, do you choose to leave, or do you choose to stay in the game? And for as long as we get to be on this planet, what do you want to do with your time here? What do you want to do, really, at the core? We all have a limited amount of time, you know. I had a very wise grandmother on my mum's mum, and the samurai. She comes from samurai, and she said to me, as long as you can, do, because there will come a time when you can't, you know. And that voice comes back to me frequently. She's actually, her spirit has been with me through an experience I had, at a note, a non-ordinary transcendent experience. And, you know, so that's this voice of wisdom that is constantly there. And like, our time is limited on this planet. And what do you want to do? Yeah.
So that would be like the other, like I guess your work is being with people to, I guess, find a place to be with what their experience, that whatever has changed, yeah, be with that foot in two worlds, and being here after whatever experience that is, and that integration, but also that really important piece of, yeah, and yeah, I guess once you get to a particular point, the exciting piece as well of, so you're here, what are you gonna do?
Now what? Yeah, that's right. Well, like, you just went through that and that was amazing. You made it. You're still here. Now what? You know? Yeah, it can be exciting and it can be terrifying for people because,
Mm,
you know, let's face it, we like things that are comfortable and predictable.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, yeah, it's so true. Comfortable and predictable can be so good.
Yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
and you know, and necessary, I think, to we need roots and shoots, right? So the comfortable is, that's our roots. We need something stabilizing us, the repetitive, and there's a great safety and security in having something that we know is going to be constant. And because of that, you know, we then have a bit more of a leaning into and relaxing into the change, the shift, that is
Mm.
also presenting. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be, and yeah, I guess that, like what you were talking about, those roots, and I've talked, yeah, talked with clients as well about like the anchor, like especially after, um, yeah, the loss of a loved one, and you can be thrown into, just it's like everything you knew, and like you said with the puzzle's been shattered, but so what is the anchor? What's gonna, yeah, give you a point, to kind of, yeah, then move from, then grow from, and then find where the next point of safety is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Totally. You know, and I think of a tree in that situation, right? It lands and it goes deep and it has the rings over the season and time because there's that level of repetition that happens, and yet there's the growth that happens as well, you know. Yeah. We have so much to learn from nature. So much. It's so simple.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's so
Yeah.
it's so true. Like we go searching and try and figure all this stuff out, and it's like it's just there. Like the answer, yeah, it's just there. Like if you
Right.
just found it, ah, it's so true.
Yeah.
And we kind of go out and have a little bit of time. Oh, I feel so much better. Everything makes sense, and I'm kind of, things are all right. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the big things for us to remember. Yeah, that's home. That's, I guess you talked about like people having that experience of heaven or home, and it's like we've got our heaven and home here for this physical experience. It's here. She's there, out there. They're ready to care for us and nurture us, and for us to learn from and gain from her wisdom. Mm, mm.
Yeah. Exactly, you know, and again, that's why I love working with people who are at that transformative edge so much, because it's really that now what is, now what, and usually for these people, now what in a way that can benefit others as well. Something that often happens out of a transcendent experience is, a sense of I is shifted to something that is interconnected, something that is larger, something that is beyond this little encapsulated piece of skin and flesh. So after the fact of the experience, and when we get to the now what, what do you want to do in the world? People will often be, well, I want to do it as a we, I want to do it together. I saw that beautifully, in what happened with Kai and this transformation, and then with bereaved mothers. There's a we-ness that happens after the intense I, and the experience and the intense loss. It just kind of it morphs, into something else, and that's been so beautiful, because as painful and as unimaginable as an experience like that is, what has come about from it, opens hearts also. That's beautiful you've done, Megan. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, I see that, like, with lots of bereaved mothers as well. It is, yeah, there's a need to be there to help other people going through, yes, a similar experience, and helping, yeah, or helping other people to help those people going through that experience as well. Just, yeah, like you said, going through that intense I experience to then, yeah, being there for 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 others. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this guy, William Broad, and he was the one that came up with the term notes, non-ordinary transcendent experiences. And he speaks about them as, yes, all of these things happen, but what are the fruits of the experience? What can we then take away to be shared and to nourish one another? And like you say before, creating heaven on earth, or experiencing heaven on earth, or an earth that is, in a beautiful state, is possible, and who wants to play a role in that? How can we play a role in that? Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I think
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I can just sit and talk to you about this for for so long, and sit and just listen to you talk about it for so long. I just, yeah, I love listening to you, and I just find this so interesting, and so um gosh, I don't even know what that word is, like, yeah, I don't know that there is a word. There's something in there, like, interesting's like meh. Um like, it just seems a bit when I'm talking about this, when it's really powerful and important, and yeah, like, yeah, this is an opportunity. It's like we have all of these fruit trees, all these trees out there growing fruit, and the fruit could just drop and just rot and, go back into the earth. But yeah, when you can actually be there and support someone through these experiences, and to really use that fruit to nourish themselves and others,
mm-hmm.
and yeah, create a amazing beauty on this planet.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're the caterpillar being mushed up into 1,000 pieces in chrysalis, you have no idea that there's like hordes of butterflies on the other end going, it's really cool out here, come and play. You have no idea at all. So we need those butterflies to speak up, because all those people have been through experiences that are amazing in their own way and unique in their own way. And I personally think we have something to learn from all of them. Yeah. So I'm like on the charge for go, you talk about it, share your experience, in a safe way, in a community that can hear it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And finding that, growing that trunk to have that strength to then, yeah, integrate it even more and more into the way that they live. And because, yeah, through those experiences, it's a beautiful, yeah, that fruit is beautiful. And so to be able to be in a place where they're strong, and I guess that's something that I'm more and more getting to, having, yeah, there's just over a week until Kai's second birthday, and it's, yeah, getting to a place of, and I guess I kind of can go in and out. There's the grief, which is just, raw pain, but then there's the beauty that's come from this, yeah, him not being here. The beautiful people that I've met with and connected with, and some of the things that have had to go, like that I've shed, and some of the decisions, like, yeah, Peter and I, partway through April, we pack our, well, no, we're packing now to move out of Sydney. We're finally,
Yeah.
finally leaving, and starting
Yes.
a completely new chapter, which is something that, yeah, we, who knows where we would be, but yeah, it's growing into a new form. Mm.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Mm.
And I love hearing these stories and witnessing these transformations because it's a privilege to be in that space as someone is unfolding in that experience, because it's always present, right? It might have happened before in the past, but we're here now still, right? And the way that where we're speaking about it from is our present moment. Uh, so wonderful stuff, to just hear that. And for some, it's the first time they share these experiences, others share it many times over. And still, it can be really challenging to carry on and share, but that speaks to the truth and authenticity of that experience, and the place that people speak from. I hear it in your voice when you speak from that place. It's from that place. Yeah, and that's the power and the beauty of it that keeps it alive, that thing that we can't quite give language to, but we feel it. We feel it, we know when it's around.
Mm.
And that's kind of,
Mm.
the fruits, the gold, the alchemy, that is just so gorgeous. Mm.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So before we go, would you like to share, yeah, I guess, how people can contact you or work with you, or what's on offer? There's another book.
There is. Yes. So you can jump on over to I just changed it. I think it's at the Notes Coach, NOTES, at the Notes Coach, or Dr Nicole Gruel, GRUEL, on Facebook. I like to hang out on Facebook, so we can chat there. You can message me, and I will message you back. And the book that is coming out is called The Power of notes: non-ordinary transcendent experiences transforming how we live, love, and lead.